Many of us drift through life as if we have all the time in the world, but time doesn't wait. It slips away quietly, day by day. Most people don't realize this, but the majority of your meaningful moments will happen in just a few key decades. By the time you're in your 30s, a huge portion of your most formative experiences has already occurred. Still, we delay the important things. I'll do it someday. But someday is a dangerous illusion, a soft trap that makes you believe there's always more time. In the next few minutes, you'll uncover powerful principles that help you live with clarity and purpose. Not just organize your schedule, but finally start honoring what really matters. This isn't about typical time management tricks. It's about shifting the way you see life itself. Time plays games with your mind, and unless you understand those games, it controls you. Think back to childhood. Summers felt like entire lifetimes. One afternoon could feel like a week. Now, whole years pass in a blur. This is known as the time perception shift, and it's not just nostalgia, it's how your brain functions. Here's why. Your brain keeps track of time by registering new experiences. As a child, the world was full of novelty, everything was fresh, unknown, exciting. Your brain was constantly making mental notes, stretching time out. But adulthood brings wake up, same route, same tasks, same evenings. When nothing feels new, your brain stops recording and days start to disappear. This is how time blindness takes hold. But you can fight back. Add variety to your days. Try something unfamiliar. Learn a new hobby. Talk to someone you wouldn't normally speak to. Every time you step into the unfamiliar, your brain wakes up and time feels richer again. And here's one of the biggest time traps. We often overestimate what we can accomplish in a single day, but severely underestimate what we're capable of in a year. That's why people abandon goals too early. They forget how powerful steady progress can be. Being busy isn't the same as being effective. Most people pack their schedules with endless tasks, but few of those tasks actually move life forward. There's a simple way to refocus. Ask yourself, when you're older and looking back, will you care about that late night email or the quiet evenings spent with someone you love? Suddenly the noise fades and what truly matters becomes clear. Just one more thing, then I'll get to the important stuff. But days slip away quietly and the essential things keep waiting. Here's what high achievers understand. Eliminating the unimportant is often more powerful than chasing the next task. Try this method. Write down everything you want to do. Pick the top 3 that matter most. Now here's the key. Treat the rest as your do not touch list. Small, consistent effort toward your real priorities compounds over time, just like interest in a savings account. But distractions are everywhere. Endless notifications, shallow tasks, and digital noise steal your attention every day. The only solution? Be ruthless. Cut the clutter. Protect your time like it's your most valuable asset. Because it is. Think of relationships like emotional bank accounts. Every small moment, a message, a smile, a kind word, is a deposit. Every broken promise, every silence when it matters, is a withdrawal. And just like real banks, you can't keep taking if you haven't been putting anything in. I don't get why they're distant. I reach out when I need help. Exactly. And that's the issue. We're taught to chase big gestures, surprise gifts, celebrations, impressive plans, but what truly builds connection? It's the tiny, regular acts, a quick check-in, remembering something small, showing up when things aren't easy. Here's something you might not expect. Shared struggles create stronger bonds than shared fun. It's the hard moments that deepen trust. And don't overlook the power of weak ties. Those casual connections and distant contacts, they often open doors to new ideas, perspectives, and opportunities. Strong ties offer comfort. Weak ties offer growth. Want to stretch your sense of time? Give it away. There's a strange truth here. The more time you give to others, the more meaningful and full your own life starts to feel. Your greatest career breakthroughs won't happen in familiar territory. They live just beyond what's comfortable. In that space between what you know and what you're still learning, I should stick to what I'm good at. That mindset is exactly what keeps people stuck. One of the biggest mistakes you can make early in your career, chasing money before growth. In your 20s and 30s, your priority should be learning, not maximizing your paycheck. Every skill you pick up becomes a ticket to future possibilities. Knowledge builds momentum, and money, it tends to follow. Forget the idea of a perfect, straight career ladder. Modern careers are more like webs or jungle gyms. You move sideways, diagonally, even backward at times, and each step adds to your unique mix of abilities. But this job feels safe. That's the danger. Comfort can quietly become a trap. The longer you stay in a role that no longer challenges you, the harder it becomes to walk away. Here's a trick: use your procrastination on purpose. If you're avoiding one task, redirect that energy into something new. A project, a course, a curiosity. Often what you do when you're avoiding work reveals what you actually care about. Health isn't just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. Everything else, your goals, your relationships, your work, either flourishes or falls apart depending on how you feel physically and mentally. Ask yourself this: would you rather have 8 hours full of energy or 12 hours where you're barely functioning? I'll rest later. That belief is costing you more than you think. Sleep isn't laziness, it's your brain's reset button. Without it, your thinking gets foggy, your focus fades, and your decisions suffer. It's like trying to run your life while half asleep, because you are. And here's something to consider: you are not the same person in the morning as you are in the evening. Morning, you sets the goals. Evening, you has to carry them out. Don't let your morning self set impossible expectations your evening self can't meet. Looking for a quick upgrade? Try micro movements, 10 push-ups, a brisk 5-minute walk, stretching between tasks. Your body is built to move, not to sit for 8 hours straight. And here's the magic: movement clears the mind. If you're stuck on a problem, get up and move. You'll be surprised how fast clarity follows. If you want to speed up your learning, there's one powerful trick: try teaching it. Explaining something forces your brain to organize the information, turning scattered knowledge into real understanding. But I'm not an expert yet. That's why you're the perfect teacher. You still remember what's confusing, what's unclear, and that gives you an edge. Here's a shortcut to decades of wisdom: read biographies. Each one offers a lifetime of wins, failures, and lessons, compressed into hours. You learn not just from what worked, but from what didn't. Most people try to get good at everything, but the smartest ones, they stay intentionally bad at the things that don't matter to them. This approach is called deliberate amateurism. It keeps your thinking fresh, your creativity alive, and your ego in check. And don't be afraid of limits. Constraints are rocket fuel for creativity. Not enough time? Good. Not enough money? Even better. They push you to think differently, and that's where breakthroughs happen. Here's one of the most underrated skills: knowing when to quit. Strategic quitting isn't giving up. It's creating room for the things that do move you forward. Every emotion has a lifespan. Chemically, feelings like anger, fear, or frustration only last about 90 seconds. After that, it's no longer your body, it's your choice. I can't help feeling this way, but you can choose whether to stay in that emotion or let it pass. Think of emotional regulation as a super skill. Raw intelligence may land you the job, but your ability to stay composed under pressure, that's what earns trust, leadership, and long-term success. Most people hide their struggles, but wise people know when and how to show them. Vulnerability, when used intentionally, creates connection, often more than pretending everything is fine. One costly mistake: avoiding hard conversations. Those talks you keep putting off, they don't go away. They build up interest like emotional debt. What starts small becomes heavier the longer it's ignored. And don't underestimate the power of gratitude. Unspoken appreciation is like money left in an account you never use. If you don't express it, you lose its value for both you and others. Money isn't just about what's in your bank account. It's really about how much freedom you have with your time. Here's what most people overlook. The more money you make, the less time you often have. With every raise comes a lifestyle upgrade, a bigger home to maintain, a nicer car to worry about, a better neighborhood that takes longer to reach. Now I can finally afford everything I want. But that's the trap. Lifestyle inflation feels like progress, but it keeps you running without actually getting anywhere. So ask yourself, would you rather earn 6 figures working 80 hours a week or a bit less with your days free and energy intact? Your real hourly wage isn't just dollars. It's what you give up to earn them. Most people spend on things and rent experiences. Smarter people do the opposite. They rent things and invest in experiences. Why? Because experiences gain value over time. Objects usually don't. Want true wealth? Learn to live with margin. Space between what you earn and what you spend. That space becomes your freedom fund. It's not about restriction, it's about giving yourself the flexibility to say yes to opportunities and no to what doesn't matter. Creativity doesn't show up when you sit and wait for it. It starts flowing when you get moving, like turning on a faucet. At first, it's messy. The early ideas are clunky, awkward, the creative version of rusty water. But you need them. They make way for the good stuff. I'm waiting for the right idea. That's like standing in front of a sink hoping for clean water, but never turning the tap. Start anyway. The clarity comes later. Here's something surprising. Limits make creativity stronger. Give someone total freedom and they freeze. Give them a challenge with boundaries, they thrive. Even Shakespeare wrote within strict rules, and that's what fueled his genius. One common trap, trying to create and critique at the same time, that's like pressing the gas and brake together. Create first, judge later. And whatever you make, document it. Even the early awkward versions. Your brain needs to see progress to keep growing. Those imperfect beginnings, they're your proof that you're evolving. The secret to standing out, combine skills no one else combines, that unique mix. Your background, your hobbies, your quirks, that's where your creative edge lives. Time means nothing without energy. You can have a full calendar, but if your tank is empty, nothing meaningful gets done. Yet most people never stop to ask, what gives me energy and what drains it? That morning walk, it might lift you up. That constant complaining from someone close might leave you feeling depleted. I just need to push through. No, you need to manage your energy, not just your time. Here's the truth, willpower isn't infinite, it burns out like a muscle. High performers don't rely on it, they build environments that make good choices the default. Think about decision fatigue. Every choice, what to wear, what to eat, when to work out, drains mental fuel. That's why many successful people simplify the small things. They protect their energy for what really matters. Try this unconventional tactic, strategic incompetence. Be intentionally bad at things that don't move your life forward. People will stop asking, and your energy stays focused on your strengths. And most importantly, recovery isn't a waste. It's how you make the time you do have more powerful, more present, and more productive. Success isn't just about knowledge. It's about connection. But real social capital isn't built by hoarding contacts or collecting LinkedIn connections. It grows through authentic relationships. There is a simple recipe: time plus openness plus shared experience. Miss one and the bond weakens. All three? That's how real trust is built. I don't have time to network. That's because you're seeing it wrong. True networking isn't about getting something. It's about creating meaningful links. The best connectors don't think, what can I gain? They think, who can I bring together? Most people wait for big events to reconnect. Weddings, crises, milestones. But strong relationships are nurtured in the small, quiet moments. A quick message, a shared article, a spontaneous catch-up. Think of your social circle like a garden. You don't water it once and expect it to bloom forever. You check in, you nurture, you show up consistently. And here's what wise people do. They build community before they need it, because when the hard times come, and they will, it's too late to grow roots if you haven't planted any. Your brain relies on shortcuts, patterns called mental models, to make sense of the world. They help you decide quickly, but here's the catch. Every model is a simplified version of reality. That's useful and dangerous. Most people only react to what's right in front of them. They play a short game while life is playing a long one. Want an edge? Start practicing second-order thinking. Don't just ask what will happen, ask what will happen after that. This seems like the obvious choice, but obvious to whom? Maybe your mental map is missing something important. That's why listening to different perspectives isn't optional, it's essential. Here's a simple truth. Knowledge alone isn't power, understanding is. Knowing a tomato is a fruit is trivia. Knowing not to toss it in a fruit salad, that's wisdom. Most people gather facts. The insightful ones look for patterns. Try flipping the problem. Instead of asking, how do I fix this? Ask, how am I contributing to this? Sometimes the smartest move isn't doing more, it's removing what's causing the problem in the first place. Your life isn't something that just unfolds, it's something you can intentionally shape. Think of it like designing a portfolio, not of finances, but of experiences, relationships, skills, and dreams. The mistake most people make? They plan too much and test too little. They try to think their way into the perfect life instead of experimenting to find what actually works. I need a full plan before I start. No, you need to start, then adjust as you go. Small changes can lead to massive transformation. Want to shift your entire direction? Begin by changing one thing for 5 minutes. Momentum builds from there. And think about how you measure your life. Most people use society's metrics, income, titles, stuff. But what if you defined your own? What if success meant having time, growing daily, or making a difference? That's why regular reflection matters. It's how you catch what's off course before it turns into regret. Monthly check-ins prevent yearly wake-up calls. You don't need more hours, you need to make the ones you have count. Each idea you've seen, from how you use your time to how you build your energy, from how you connect with others to how you define success, they all work together to shape a life worth living. Time will pass, whether you're intentional or not. Your habits shape your days become your years, and your years define your life. Start small, pick one insight that stuck with you, test it, adjust it, make it yours. Because the best time to live fully was never someday, it's right now.